just a cartoon, they say. It's not real, they taunt. Why are you so obsessed with anime, they ask. The answer to that is simple, really. Anime changed my life. I'm not trying to act like a drama queen here, but I haven't exactly had the best life. I was brought into this world by an alcoholic, smoke-addicted family, and was put into a foster home at age 2. It was just luck of the draw, and I was dealt a shitty hand. The family that I was put into was abusive. They would beat me and give my little brother the world. That was the main reason I was so attracted to Pokemon. The idea of a child being able to stand up to an adult was very empowering to me at the time. At age 8, I was adopted into a family that spoiled me. By age 10, I realized that I really wanted to wear diapers and dresses, but I had no idea how big of a role that would play in the future. Me and my parents got into fights, and eventually, over the span of 3 months, I was sent to my first group home. At the time, I had no idea what love even was. No, more than that, I didn't even believe that love existed. I remember a time when I was 7 years old, I said that the whole point of living was to find the person who you hate the most, to kill them, and then yourself. It's that dark mindset that got me into anime. My first manga, other than Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, was Bleach. I read the first 24 books when I was 12, and something about it struck a chord with me. The edgy violence of a 15-year-old slaying demons that represented depression got me interested. Another series that I loved was the manga for Black Butler. The sadistically evil tone and the philosophy that humans are out to hurt each other was something that I aligned myself with and believed in. But the character that I related to the most at the time was Light Yagami from Death Note. The part where he mentally goes through the steps of how to manipulate Naomi Misura into giving up her real name really spoke to me. It was exactly the thought process that I was having when I was trying to get things that I wanted. And the way that he treated Misa aligned with my views on love at the time. I agreed with everything Light did up until he killed Takeda. She was completely loyal and intelligent. There was no reason to kill her. Watching his death scene hit me hard, especially when he passed by his former self. That's when it struck me the most. I'll be like this if I don't change. But how? How do I need to change? What do I need to change into? Even though I never hurt anyone at the group home, they still considered me to be dangerous. They sent me from that group home to another correctional facility. Same old, same old. Just a bunch of worksheets on anger management and self-regulation. As if that stuff would ever work. But I did receive some help there, just not from where they wanted it. The correctional facility had no manga other than one, Tsubasa Resivor Chronicles. In the book there are 2 characters, named Sauron and Sakura. Sauron and Sakura were childhood friends, with Sakura being a princess and with Sauron being the son of an archaeologist. Sakura wants to express her love for Sauron, but before she could, her memories were sliced out and spread throughout the universe. Sauron goes on a long, dangerous journey to collect those memories, often putting himself in harm's way to achieve this. I asked myself, completely being unable to comprehend, why is he doing this? He gains nothing from this. It was then that I realized what the true meaning of love was. To be willing to put yourself in harm's way to protect someone, that is true love. Even though I had only been able to read the first 2 volumes, they had made their impact on me, and with me finally in a more peaceful home, barely, I had the time to explore my identity a bit more. I was able to start shaving, and I loved how smooth my legs were. And since then I never went more than a week without shaving my full body. I had to ask permission from the staff at the group home, but I was able to wear female clothes. I had no idea what my clothing style was, let alone who I was. I also mostly kept stuff like that to my room, because I was afraid about how people would take it. And then one day, I decided to look up the term transgender anime. I heard the term being thrown around a lot, and I liked anime so it just seemed like the perfect fit. This was how I discovered Wandering Sun. This was before I knew how to download, and we didn't have Wi-Fi, so I went to the library and let it all buffer while I played Pokemon on the computers. I watched it when I got home, and I absolutely adored it. Being transgender is confusing enough, but adding in child abuse and feeling little, and it's an entirely different beast. Shuichi only had one of these issues to deal with, so I didn't really relate to her. I was more inspired by her. The anime original scene where Shuichi wanders around in a sailor uniform inspired me to wear a dress and heel outside in public for the very first time, and that day was the happiest day of my life. There was a person whose name I won't name. Let's just call her E. At the time, I hated myself for being trans, and whenever anyone asked for my pronouns, I would always just say male. I didn't feel like I deserved to be female, like it was cheating to be called she, her, when I haven't even started transitioning yet. I felt like I haven't earned that title. Yet E saw right through me. She always called me a girl, no matter how much I insisted not to, and she hugged me a lot. E is the one that gave me my very first smile, and I wore a dress to her birthday party. When I was 12 to 13, I thought my attraction to diapers was purely sexual, so I would go online and I'd read diaper porn, and then through lots of hoops I was able to start wearing diapers at night for only an hour. I'd finished the Wandering Sun anime, and I was bored. Then I remembered about Tsubasa, and I started watching it. Those days are all but forgotten to me. I was extremely attached to Phi, but most of all, I just loved sitting there and watching Tsubasa. It felt like having a family. Princess Sakura was my role model for what it meant to be kind and loving. That's why, no matter what I did, I could never think of any other name for me other than Sakura. Eventually, I finished the series, leaving sadness in its wake. The series that had changed my life was over. Then I found the OVAs, and I wish I hadn't. The OVAs were traumatizing to me at the time. Sauron ate Five's eye. Sakura had to throw away her innocence for the sake of protecting those dearest to her. I was crying. I cried the whole week until one of the staff at the group home suggested I should write about what I wanted to happen instead. This person had already read a lot of my writing before and knew that I was a decent writer. I thought it was a great idea, and I had no idea how much it would change my life. For the most part, my entire identity was based off of Sakura, and I'd never really stopped to question that before. When writing the story, I realized that Sakura should be her own character, and at that point I had to ask myself, if I could be anything, or anyone, what would I want to be? And the answer I came up with was that I wanted to be a little girl, being taken care of by Sakura, Phi, Sauron, and Kurogane. It was around this time that I discovered a certain author, and I'm just going to call her S. S wrote about diapers in a very different way than what I was used to. Instead of lewd stories about victims being forced to wear diapers against their wills, she wrote about anime characters that wanted to wear them. In them, she described the emotional comfort that the characters felt from wearing them, and how enjoyable they were. Her stories spoke to me, and really made me think about what I truly wanted. I didn't want to talk about my desire to wear diapers full-time with the staff at the time, but depression was growing inside of me, day by day. Eventually, I started running away again, and after some time, I did something I thought I'd never do. I ended up cutting myself. I was brought to the suicide hospital. I was in a white room with nothing but a bed and an MP3 player to keep me company. I've been to the suicide hospital plenty of times before. I figured I might as well do what I always did, and ask for a diaper. Every fiber of my body felt as beautiful and serene as a flower. Happiness swelled within me like a balloon. My tone was softer and more energetic. It had finally happened. I was happy for a second time. I was able to see the beauty in everything. I even thought the little bug that was crawling around on my sheets was really cute. Of course, only hours later, a staffer came by and told the hospital that I was not to be wearing diapers. But the experience gave me something to fight for. I knew what would make me happy, and so all I needed to do was prove it to them. I got to work on AMVs and showed it to the staff. I was able to wear them for Halloween, but then one day I had to move to a new, far stricter group home. A lot of my toys got lost in the moving process, but with the move came new hope. I immediately changed my life around and adapted to the rules fairly quickly. And within 1.5 months, I had reached the top behavior level and was able to finish the series I had started just before going there. Of all the anime that helped me during my teenage years, Tokyo Ghoul was by far the one that helped me the most. I related to Kaneki so much. The way that he was an orphan mirrored my own experience with my family. The fact that he was struggling with his innocence and trying his best to keep himself from becoming a monster, in much the same way that I tried to resist any and all sexual attraction and tried to protect my own innocence. It was inspirational to me at the time, and it's by experiencing it that it helped me cope with my own stress. I kept on asking if I could wear diapers and kept on hearing no. I wouldn't give up. For 2 whole years, I always did my best and always kept asking and asking and asking until eventually I stopped. I had just quit my job at the time because my levels of depression were getting far too high for me to deal with at the time. With my last paycheck, I finally bought diapers behind their backs and I wore them It had been so long since I could wear them. I had all but forgotten what happiness felt like at the time, and I needed that reminder of what it felt like. I kept them well hidden in my room, but it was only 1 month afterwards that I was caught. I was watching episode 3 of Bloom Into You and the toilet was clogged. The staff asked me if the smell was coming from me and if I was wearing a diaper. One thing you have to know about me is that I suck at lying, and so I came clean about it, and they were taken. I felt further and further into depression, with no one to talk about my feelings. But then I remembered, I had this account. I only really used it to upload Wandering Sun AMVs at the time, but I needed to talk with someone, and so I made a video explaining my situation, and everyone was nice. I'm going to be using this channel as a way to talk about my feelings in anime, and things such as that. After all, there are so many shows that I love and have helped me throughout my life that I didn't even get to mention in this video. Shows like Clanad and Assassination Classroom. Because I've been gone for so long, I actually have another video dropping next week, an episode analysis of Wandering Sun, episode 1. I hope you like it, and thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day!
Daydream, life feels like a daydream, and I just wish that I could wake up. I just wish that I could wake up. My mind whispers into nighttime, voices always keeping me up, telling me that I should give up. 'Cause lately